The gavel strikes, and the chamber hums with the usual noise of half-attentive lawmakers and restless aides. Then, without warning, Jasmine Crockett rises from her seat, a folder gripped firmly in her hand. Her voice cuts through the room like glass shattering. "Madam Speaker, I have evidence. Secret tapes connected to Ivanka Trump." The hall goes silent for a moment, the weight of the words landing hard. Members glance at one another, some shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Camera operators lunge forward, lenses hunting for the reaction. Ivanka Trump straightens instantly, her carefully rehearsed composure slipping. Her lips part as if to object, but the shock in her eyes betrays her. Crockett holds the folder higher, tilting it toward the glaring lights of the chamber. "This is not gossip. This is not rumor. These tapes are real, and they reveal more than this country has ever been told." The chamber erupts. A storm of voices, accusations, and shouts collides in the air. The speaker pounds the gavel in vain. Reporters in the press gallery lean so far forward their pens nearly fall. Ivanka jolts to her feet, her chair scraping loudly on the polished floor. She points at Crockett, her voice trembling but sharp enough to cut the air. "You're lying! You're fabricating this to destroy me and my family!" Crockett doesn't flinch. Her gaze stays locked, piercing and unblinking. She slides a single sheet halfway out of the folder, just enough for the cameras to catch the bold, unmistakable word at the top. Transcript. The chamber gasps as if one body inhaled at once. Ivanka's denial morphs into panic. She slams her hand on the desk, shouting again, but her words drown beneath the noise of lawmakers yelling and the media scrambling to broadcast the moment live. In less than 1 minute, the confrontation has scorched through Congress. Order has collapsed, history has shifted, and Jasmine Crockett hasn't even opened the folder yet. The speaker pounds the gavel again, but the uproar refuses to die. Shouts, gasps, and camera shutters fill the chamber. Jasmine Crockett waits, letting the tension tighten like a wire ready to snap. When the room finally steadies, she leans into the microphone. "These are Ivanka Trump's own words," she declares, sliding the transcript fully into view. "Captured on tape, unfiltered, unedited. You will hear how power was traded like currency and how corruption was treated as business as usual." The words ripple through the chamber like a shockwave. Ivanka lunges forward, her hands gripping the desk, knuckles white. Her carefully cultivated elegance shatters into raw fury. She screams, her voice piercing the chamber. "You will not smear me with this fiction! This is an assault, a witch hunt, a disgrace to this body!" The chamber gasps at the outburst. Ivanka Trump, once the image of calm poise, now visibly unraveling on live television. She points at Crockett with trembling fury. "You are obsessed with destroying my family! Obsessed!" The camera zooms in mercilessly. Her eyes are wide, her gestures erratic, her tone breaking between rage and desperation. Across the aisle, members lean back, stunned at the meltdown. Some smirk, others whisper into phones, already knowing the clip is destined to dominate every feed in America. Crockett does not raise her voice. She doesn't need to. Her words land like hammers against stone. "If it's a lie, then why does your voice echo through these tapes? Why does the evidence carry your signature?" The folder snaps shut with a crack that reverberates across the chamber. Gasps and murmurs burst anew. Ivanka slams her palm against the desk, the sound sharp and violent. The microphone catches every syllable of her frantic denial. "This is madness! You will pay for this slander! Do you hear me?" The gallery is on fire with whispers, while aides scurry, already fielding calls from frantic staffers outside the chamber. Reporters type furiously, their screens glowing with headlines that will ignite the next news cycle. In this exact moment, broadcast without a single edit, Ivanka Trump's composure crumbles into chaos, and Jasmine Crockett stands motionless, eyes steady, knowing she has just torn open the scandal live before the nation. The confrontation is barely over when the first notifications hit the phones buzzing across the chamber. Aides glance down, eyes widening as live clips of Ivanka's outburst surge onto social platforms. Within minutes, hashtags trend worldwide. Yanshuan, Ivanka meltdown. Secret tapes, Anshuan, Crockett exposes. Cable news networks cut from their scheduled programming. Anchors, mid-sentence, freeze as producers scream in their earpieces, "Go live now! Run the footage!" On screen, the moment plays again and again, Ivanka standing, finger-jabbing, her voice cracking in fury as Crockett calmly brandishes the folder. Radio hosts replay the outburst with relish, dissecting each syllable. Late-night talk show writers begin scripting monologues before the session even adjourns. Memes explode, Ivanka's face frozen in panic, captions mocking the words obsessed and witch hunt. Unedited video circulates the fastest. A C-SPAN clip, raw and shaky, rips through TikTok and Twitter, gathering millions of views in under an hour. The viral loop shows Crockett's line, "If it's a lie, then why does your voice echo through these tapes?" punctuated by Ivanka's furious desk slam. On local TV in Ohio, Texas, Michigan, anchors break their evening rundown to cover the spectacle. "Forget the hearings on policy," one anchor sighs. "This is the only story anyone cares about tonight." Inside campaign war rooms, the fallout hits like a bomb. Advisors know the narrative has shifted. This isn't about legislative debate anymore. It's about Ivanka Trump losing control in real time in front of the nation, immortalized in a clip that requires no commentary. In Brooklyn bars, in diners across the Midwest, in college dorms, people crowd around phones and TVs, laughing, gasping, arguing. The country is no longer watching a politician. It's watching a breakdown, and they can't look away. And through it all, Jasmine Crockett remains silent. She doesn't post, doesn't tweet, doesn't give the press a quote. She lets the footage speak. Every replay, every share, every shocked reaction deepens the wound. By nightfall, one truth is clear. The scandal has escaped the walls of Congress. It's no longer a debate inside the chamber. It's a wildfire consuming the nation's attention. The public is still reeling from the viral explosion when, behind closed doors, Ivanka Trump's allies mobilize like a cornered army. Phones ring nonstop in the Republican cloakroom. Senior strategists bark orders, demanding counter-narratives within the hour. "She's being framed. This is fabricated." The line repeats across press releases, friendly podcasts, and cable news hits. Loyal commentators flood the airwaves, dismissing Crockett's evidence as a staged hoax. In a dim office, a small group of advisors huddles around Ivanka. She paces, her heels striking the floor like a metronome of fury. Her voice is ragged, but her resolve hardens. "They think they can humiliate me? I'll bury her. I'll bury all of them." One aide whispers, "Congresswoman Crockett may have more than transcripts. If she has the actual audio," Ivanka spins, eyes blazing, "then we crush it before it spreads. Threaten lawsuits. Threaten networks. Make sure anyone who dares to air it thinks twice." Elsewhere, in law firms across D.C., high-priced attorneys draft letters dripping with menace. Cease and desist. Defamation. Pending litigation. The message is clear. Anyone echoing Crockett risks being dragged into court. At the same time, powerful donors begin placing calls to networks and editors, urging restraint, hinting at consequences if the story continues. One billionaire ally snarls into the phone, "We own airtime. We own headlines. Don't you forget it." But in the shadows, leaks whisper through staffer networks. Anonymous messages hint at more than just transcripts. Perhaps full recordings, perhaps video. Each rumor tightens the knot of dread. Crockett herself receives a call past midnight. A low, unrecognizable voice crackles through. "You need to stop. For your safety, walk away now. Burn the folder. Forget the tapes. This is bigger than you." She listens in silence, then hangs up, her eyes narrow, fists tightening around the very folder that started the fire. Outside the public spotlight, the counterattack is vicious, coordinated, and relentless. But Crockett knows, the harder they push, the more the nation will ask why Ivanka is so desperate to bury the truth. And the question now hangs over Washington like a storm cloud. Will the counterstrike succeed, or will it backfire and unleash even darker secrets? Morning dawns, but the scandal has not cooled. It has multiplied. News trucks line the streets outside the Capitol, their satellite dishes jutting into the gray sky. Every channel, every radio station, every timeline hums with one name, Ivanka Trump. The footage of her meltdown loops endlessly, paired with Crockett's calm, razor-sharp words. Inside diners, workers gather over coffee, replaying the clip on phones. In union halls, veterans centers, and small-town churches, People shake their heads at the sight of Ivanka's composure collapsing. "That's who's been making decisions for us?" one retired steelworker mutters, his voice carrying across the room. Jasmine Crockett seizes the moment. Refusing invitations from elite Sunday shows, she takes to the streets instead. Cameras follow her into community halls where she meets factory workers and pensioners. No podium, no spotlight, just folding chairs and tired faces. She holds up the same folder, worn now from days of gripping, and declares, "You paid in. You earned it. It's your money, and while you were breaking your backs, they were making deals behind your backs." The crowd erupts in applause, their voices echoing in cramped gymnasiums. In Detroit, veterans stand and salute her words. In Pittsburgh, miners chant her name. Each stop fuels the narrative. Crockett is fighting for people who feel invisible, while Ivanka Trump is spiraling in denial and rage. Meanwhile, Ivanka attempts to regain control with choreographed appearances on friendly networks. She sits beneath soft lighting, her hair perfectly styled, reading scripted lines about unity and American strength. But the audience only sees the contrast, the rehearsed calm of the studio versus the raw panic of the chamber meltdown that has already imprinted itself into the public mind. Behind closed doors, Republican operatives panic as polls swing. Focus groups reveal an unshakable impression. Ivanka Trump is hiding something. The harder she denies, the more people believe Crockett. Social media becomes a battlefield. Hashtags like #CrockettTruth and Ivanka Tapes dominate Twitter and TikTok. Viral edits show Crockett's defiance spliced with ordinary Americans cheering, while Ivanka's furious desk slam plays on a loop with mocking captions. In a cramped campaign office, a strategist whispers, "She's losing the base. Even independents are turning. If we don't kill this story, it'll bury her." And still Crockett's voice grows louder. At one rally, she stares straight into the cameras, her voice low but unshakable. "They can threaten me. They can smear me. But the truth has no expiration date. The people deserve to hear it, and I will not stop." The crowd roars, fists pumping, flags waving. And somewhere in a quiet office, Ivanka watches the broadcast on mute, her jaw clenched so tightly it trembles. The battle is no longer confined to Congress. It is in the streets, in the living rooms, in the very heartbeat of the country. And with each passing day, the pressure on Ivanka Trump mounts, threatening to crush her beneath the weight of her own unraveling secrets. The chamber is packed again, buzzing with the electricity of anticipation. Journalists fill every inch of the press gallery, lenses trained, pens poised. The world has waited for days, rumors swirling, denials mounting, pressure boiling. Now, Jasmine Crockett steps forward, folder in hand. But this time, she is not alone. Behind her, aides carry a slim black case. The room stiffens. The speaker gavels for order, but silence descends naturally. Everyone feels it. The moment of reckoning has arrived. Crockett's voice slices through the quiet. "You've heard the denials. You've heard the spin. Tonight, you will hear the truth." She opens the case and withdraws a small device. The microphones crackle as a recording begins to play. A voice, unmistakably Ivanka Trump's, fills the chamber. Smooth at first, measured, discussing deals, but then slipping, revealing admissions that slice through her carefully crafted image. Words about money, about influence, about promises made in the shadows. Gasps roll across the chamber like thunder. Members lean forward, frozen. The press gallery erupts in frantic typing. Ivanka bolts upright, her chair crashing backward. Her face drains of color as the recording continues, every syllable hammering nails into her credibility. She shouts, her voice breaking, "Stop this! It's fake! It's spliced! Turn it off!" But the damage is irreversible. The recording ends with a chilling silence broken only by Crockett's calm, steady words. "You can scream, you can threaten, but you cannot erase your own voice." The room explodes. Lawmakers shout over one another, the speaker's gavel drowned out by the roar. Outside, cameras catch the pandemonium spilling into the hallways, staffers rushing, reporters shouting questions. Within minutes, the tape floods every platform. Evening news anchors abandon scripts, their voices hushed with gravity. Tonight, undeniable evidence has been released. Across the nation, people watch Ivanka's collapse replayed alongside her voice on the tapes. Poll numbers nosedive. Allies distance themselves. Donors freeze contributions. Behind-the-scenes threats intensify. Ivanka's team considers desperate moves, but it's too late. The scandal has detonated beyond containment. In one final act of defiance, Crockett introduces a resolution on the House floor, forcing a public vote tied directly to the evidence. Members cannot dodge, they must choose. The chamber holds its breath as the tally is read. The resolution passes. Applause shakes the walls. Crockett closes her folder at last, her expression grim but resolute. She knows victory comes with a cost, threats, enemies, and battles yet to come. Ivanka, pale and broken, exits through a side door, cameras flashing, her once untouchable aura shattered in front of the world. The nation has witnessed not just a scandal, but a transformation, power stripped bare, truth weaponized, and a dynasty wounded at its core. And as the clip of Crockett's line, "You cannot erase your own voice," spreads like wildfire, one truth becomes inescapable. This fight is far from over.